Having a big bridal party sounds fun until the drama starts. Stay tuned for this episode as we talk a little bit about the chaos of big bridal parties. Hey guys, and welcome back to this episode of the South Asian Wedding Guru. I'm Amy Rigetti, your host for this podcast. And today we're going to talk about bridesmaids and is more the merrier and what might be right for you. We're going to cover a little bit of the pros and cons so that at the end of this video, you can ultimately decide on what it is that you feel is going to make your day more special. One thing that I love to see on the wedding day is when you have a bridal party that is truly doting over the bride and groom, meaning that they're offering mental, emotional, physical support to the bride as she's preparing. She's got things she's worrying about, and she can really just rely on her girls to be there and be ready in order to participate in this experience. That is one of the things that I do see different between American weddings and Indian weddings is the purpose of the bridal party. And this is not to be taken as offensive or to be hurtful in any way, but it is just to kind of set the record straight. With American weddings, bridal party members are designated in order to be there to support the bride emotionally, just being there, like just their presence being there to support the bride on the wedding day. This could be just simply getting her a glass of water or making sure that she has a straw. This could be one of the bridal party members just making sure that when the photographer or videographer or anybody comes into the room and they need something, they are at attention to be able to do that so that the bride is not being disrupted from her makeup and hair experience because they are going to have to find their shoes and all that stuff. We do a lot to prepare our brides beforehand to make sure that they have that stuff separated and ready for us to walk in and just set it out. But there are times when that is not necessarily done, and sangeets or garbas have been very late the night before and they've hung out, lost track of time. And so the wedding day winds up being a little bit more crazier than they had wanted it to be because they just simply got carried away the night before. So bridesmaids, when we look at them in terms of as an American aspect of weddings, they are there to make sure that they know where rings are, that they make sure that the puja process is being done, that they're checking in, giving the bride updates, maybe even coordinating between the coordinators so that the bride doesn't always have the phone in her hand for her pictures, or even just simply setting the bride at ease when she's looking for a sounding board when it comes to hair and makeup and honesty. She knows she can lean on them to be honest. One thing is, remember as bridesmaids, you don't want to be too honest in this situation. Now, you will never let your girl leave there looking bad, but you don't want to start picking and pulling at things because really as makeup and hair pulls things together, as you might think it's easy fix to do this or that, it's very difficult to go back and fix something without backtracking the process. So make sure that if there are certain comments, take them up with the artist alone. Don't make that something that would cause a little bit of more stress to the bride herself. Just think these things. You guys have known her way longer than we have. And so we expect you guys to use your best judgment in these types of things. But that is really what we find the purpose of the bridal party is, to have that bachelorette party to be able to help the bride decide on what it is that is aesthetically pleasing for the bridal party. There are going to be some big girls, some small girls, and what is it that is going to be a cohesive look for all of you guys across the board with colors and so forth, helping ease her things that she has to worry about up until the wedding day. So again, there's a bridal luncheon that is supposed to be prepared as well. So these are all little things for you guys to pamper the bride as she's moving into. And these are things that your bridal party are responsible for, even if they're Indian or they're born and raised in America, Indian. They need to know that these are responsibilities. And then on the wedding day, making sure that you have just enough not to be overwhelmed. We know our friends. We know that some are just going to be more high maintenance than others, and knowing that will help you prepare. So do you have to have those bridesmaids get ready in another room and then maybe have another team cater to them so that they can be ready and just on standby as you are having your final touches? They can be part of pictures because they're already dressed versus the rooms that we often see, which tend to be mass production and there's no great angles in any room because girls are getting dressed behind the bride, girls are getting dressed to the side, aunties are draping and wrapping and all this stuff. So you really need to think about what it is that you want your day to look like. Do you want it to look like you are kind of that lady in waiting and things are quiet and calm? And do you need that in order to just be in the moment for your day? Or are you okay with letting the girls come in there, get ready in the same room? This is a small cost associated with just having the bridesmaids getting ready in a separate room to make sure that that drama doesn't become part of your drama and you really get to enjoy the best part of your girls. Nonetheless, you don't have to worry about cleaning up that mess that's created as things are being thrown here and there, drinks are being left, makeup is dispersed all over the place. Think this through as you guys plan on what type of bridal party you want for yourselves. For our grooms in this, they often wind up with a trashed room at the end of the night for pre-functions, pre-events, as everybody tends to come back to their room. And when we show up in the morning of, not only are they still crashed, they actually have to clean up that room a little bit because it is an absolute mess. So just think of these things as you start planning about what it is that a bridal party looks like for you. One thing that I know with Indian bridal parties is there's way more obligation that is involved in choosing your bridal party than on the American side of things. We usually pick bridal party members not because they're our cousins and not because, you know, someone's going to be upset if we don't. We usually pick bridal party because they are our closest friends and family as we were growing up. You have a cousin that you were very close with, went to college with, or talked to constantly in college. Yes, there's a spot for them in the bridal party. But just because they're your cousin doesn't mean they have to be part of your bridal party. They're surely not going to look at it as you have to be part of theirs. And if they haven't gotten married yet, it actually might let you off the hook because they'll realize that you weren't obligated to put them in yours and they're not going to be obligated to put you in theirs. So just keep these things in mind as you think bridal party is more the merrier. What is another pro for a big wedding party? Well, if you love energy and you love to party, the more the merrier is the case here because the more bridal party you have, the more energy they bring to the dance floor between dance performances and just getting everybody involved, getting everybody pumped up, and of course, just bringing it. They're your crew. They know how to bring it the way that you want them to. This is a big key in deciding, do you want all that energy or are you just looking for a very intimate party where you guys are going to have some speeches, maybe performances are going to be the night before. So you don't necessarily need your bridal party to be able to have that energy on the wedding day. If that's something you're looking for more of an intimate experience, leave it for the pre-functions and just make them dance form performances. You don't have to be obligated to have that bridal party and manage all the things that comes with having a bridal party in addition to. You need to make sure that you realize that having a big bridal party and really not taking them for granted and making them feel part of the day is going to extend your timeline. I've seen situations where there's bridal parties and there was no real time spent with that bridal party. I feel if you have a big bridal party, you need to take individual pictures with that bridal party. Take time to do reels with that bridal party and make them feel like you wanted them there for a reason. But often what happens is bridal parties often make bride and groom's portrait time. You have to decrease it a little because you have to spread it out. So you need to take these things into consideration as well. I tend to find that good bridal party prep is something that has to be planned out if you are choosing to have a large bridal party in order for you to make the most of all your time with them. And of course, be able to get that feel on your wedding day where you just didn't push all of you guys together and take a picture, but that we actually had time to stylize those pictures and set you guys up so you look like the Kardashians and you have these totally editorial style pictures that when we submit that to Vogue or whatever, they're going to be like, I want that because look how much time they put into those. These are all key factors, even to being published. And my last pro for bridal party pictures, and call me a little selfish on this one, but by having a huge bride squad, you are going to have amazing photo albums. I mean, I love doing full spread pictures that have your whole bridal party. I love doing the funs. I love doing the serious. I love doing the ones that where you guys all look like you stepped out. And part of that involves time. So I guess you could say the con in that is the time, but the pro is you're going to have some awesome portraits. And if you hire the right photographer, not only even the ones that are not always the best in pictures and super awkward. If you have a photographer that can have fun and kind of just give single prompts to allow them to just make one slight change to make them look like they're really standing out in those portraits and bringing it to, oh, I love amazing bridal party portraits. So make sure that you give the time to them. These are all of the awesome things that come with big bridal party portraits. So there you have it. Those are my pros. But what type of person would I be by bringing a South Asian Wedding Guru podcast to you if I did not let you know what the cons might be? So here we go. All right, top of the list on mine is more opinions, more drama, and more scheduling dilemmas because you have to coordinate this with everybody, right? If you guys are doing dance performances, you got to make time to show up, you got to make time to practice. Not only that, as far as making sure that they've given you their measurements, if you're planning on doing the saris and having them shipped here or done here, everybody's measurements need to be into place. These are some of the things that just have to take place when you have a bigger bridal party. And opinions. If you have a friend that you were friends with in high school who's known you for so long that maybe you're the closest to, and then you have a friend who you went to college with, or maybe someone you went to post grad with, and they've not known you as long or known you in each individual part of your life, they know you for different reasons and they know a part of you in a different way. And so all these opinions come into play, and just being able to manage that and take them and kind of discard what you don't need and bring in what you do. These take somebody who can seriously what is it? They can seriously compartmentalize, is it that they would say, these thoughts that are going in and say, okay, well, I really don't care about that. I care about this and this matters. So if you're one of those people that can do that, I would say maybe it's not as much of a con as I do believe it is, but I know that there's a lot of opinions sitting around as hair and makeup is being done. A lot of times hair and makeup artists will ask you to be done before the photographer even starts to get all this stuff out of the way beforehand so that we're not in the middle of these discussions. And it just makes it easier because our process is just mocking things up, getting that final draping, and then of course getting those moments of pictures where you guys are just sitting there. And we can do a lot of mock stuff for that. However, if you bring us in earlier to this, there's a lot of candidates that are going in place. We're sitting there often a lot of times just waiting for things to get done. And your bridal party will always have something special to say in terms of if they like the way your hair is done, or if they think this draping should be tighter, or if the drape should fall, above your breast or below them. Like, I've seen it all. But these are things that, again, you need to consider as you're thinking big or small bridal party. What is it that I think will allow me to be as stress-free as possible on the wedding day? Doesn't mean you can't include everybody, but just include them in the pre-function aspect. Let them party. And then afterwards, let them be part of cocktails. Let them be part of all these other things that don't involve them having things that they have to do at the wedding. I can tell you when we photograph weddings that don't have a bridal party versus do have a bridal party, I am on the fence. I'm like in between. I love the ones where there's no bridal party and it's just about your immediate family and you coming in, and the focus remains on you guys, and the brides and groomsmen are able to kind of just move freely and do things that they have to do instead of being obligated, especially if you have bridesmaids who have kids. It makes it super challenging for them to put all that responsibility on their parents or their husband because they're in the bridal party when the kids really do want them. These are all things. Just know your crowd, know your crew, know your squad, and make the right decision for them. And if you're open with them about these reasons, they will not be offended. I promise you. They will dress what makes them comfortable and be able to manage whatever the situation is. And even so, they might appreciate you for it. My next con: matching hair, matching makeup equals more moolah, more dollars, more rupees, more dinero, whatever you want to cost it. These are all costs that go into having a big bridal party. Nobody wants to put the responsibility of hair and makeup on your girls, and some of them just underdo it, some of them overdo it, or you got bridesmaids showing up and they put all their jewelry on that you didn't want them to wear. You just wanted them to keep it very segued into the theme of your wedding. So there are things that you're going to have to take into consideration, whether it's providing them with the jewelry you want them to wear so that everybody looks like they're copacetic together. Everybody looks like they're cohesive and they all look like a pair. Of course, you can always do different sari drapings. Like lately, I love how Instagram has really been showing different ways to wear a sari. And this is something that I really wish the South Asian brides would pick up on, because I would love to see, instead of the typical draping traditional way of wearing a sari, let them turn for some of the girls who would be more happy in like a kurta style. Let them take the saris and turn them into those type. Let them, if they want to wear something that's more like a knee length instead of a full sari where people cannot move, it's not as easy to take pictures of them. Still keep them in the silk sari material, but change it up. Look at some of what these people are doing in making these different styles for these girls that are, some of them are more form fitted and some of them are more appealing in a more A-line fashion for the sari. Change it up, make it your own. You have to pay for the sari anyway. So, those are things that you can do. And if you have less bridal party members, you can make that more personalized in terms of your bridal party walking in. One other thing is the timeline tends to require more time. We often tell our girls when bringing in the bridal party, people think they're just going to bunch them together and bring them in, and you don't get pictures of every single pair as they come in. So you really don't have that many great pictures of your friends as they're walking in. You really need to keep those separate. Allow the couples to walk in as groupings. Don't let it be like such a mob squad. The energy gets a little too high and the pictures do suffer because of it. So let them come in last. Let them come in one couple at a time and really be able to get the beauty of whatever it is that they're wearing and their gentle smiles instead of, they're running in there, and their mouths are wide open and hands are flailing everywhere. And you never know if you're getting that shot where the hand's not in their face. So these are things to just think about as you bring in that bridal party as well. Do I want a group or do I want them individually? Individually is going to allow for more beautiful pictures. Group, you're just going to shoot it wide, get a couple shots, and you don't even know if you're going to get something less armpit, more, face. You just don't know. So these are things that definitely take into consideration. And the less bridal party means the less money that you have to pay for makeup and hair. This means you get to have more intimate time with them. So just go through and maybe ask yourself, why is it I want this person to be in my bridal party? Why do I want this person? Make opportunities that you guys can sit down with people that you love and who have made you guys what you are as a couple, introduced you, whatever it is. Sit down and have small events with them to make them feel like it's my wedding. I want you to be part of it, but we don't need the whole bridal party drama, do we? And I've already covered my third con. Again, the bridal party situation with entrances and performances and all that stuff. Those obligations often do come into play, and people don't realize there's a lot of coordination that goes into that. If you have a huge bridal party, most of the guys are just hyper and they want to spend time with each other. They're not always where they should be when they're supposed to be. And you usually are missing out a couple if they are married and have kids. So just look at the dynamics of where you guys are in the wedding process, and have your friends already gotten married before you? Do they have kids? Do they have other obligations that kind of would keep them from giving you their undivided attention? Acknowledge it, appreciate it, and say, I don't have to have a bridal party, or, they're going to be perfectly fine. I have to have this bridal party. I want this bridal party. I want to spend time with my boys, spend time with the ladies, whatever it is. Just think about all these things, pros and cons, and how it is that they're going to weigh on your wedding day. Make sure that you are sitting down and looking through this instead of just getting excited at the fact that you guys have gotten married and saying, oh, well, I was in these 16 people's weddings, so that they have to be in mine. This type of mentality. Think and put purpose behind your bridal party. Again, I will tell you and promise you, they will thank you for it. You will thank yourself later for it. And it doesn't mean that you can't still do pictures with them afterwards, but it will definitely speed up the process of your day if you choose a wedding timeline and plan that fits more in line with what you wanted to see on the wedding day. This could be a big bridal party, or this could be no bridal party, or this could be 2 and 2. Whatever it is, the decision is up to you. Just make sure that you put a little time into thinking it. There you have it, guys. These are my pros and cons to having a big wedding party, things that you need to think of as you get into the planning process. And it's my cue to head on out of here. So subscribe, like, share, follow us everywhere. As always, check us out at rigettis.com. If you've not scheduled time to meet with a wedding photographer, I would love to see you on my calendar. So make sure if you're ready to start that process, go to rigettis.com, click on to contact us, new clients, call, and schedule a Zoom with me. I'd love to sit down and walk you through your wedding day, talk a little bit about what it is that you might want in your photography, in aesthetic wise, or even just overall. Let's walk through your timeline together. So until the next video, subscribe, like, share, follow us everywhere at the Rigettis on Instagram.